It's official. The EU government is turning its attention to the Lightning Network. So let's dive into it. Here we go. An article on Decrypt Bitcoin Lightning Network and layer 2 scaling could be abused by criminals. Of course, it's always in the spirit of keeping everybody safe. But make no mistake, it has nothing to do with your safety, my safety, anybody's safety. It simply has to do with control and power. That's all. The first report on encryption by the EU Innovation Hub for Internet Security, a collaborative network of innovation labs from across EU member states, argues that alongside technologies including Mimblewimble, Zero, Knowledge Proofs, coin mixers, and privacy coins such as Monero and Zcash, layer 2 solutions such as the Lightning Network may also be abused by criminals. This really shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, we saw certain wallet providers, Lightning-enabled wallet providers, pulling out of the American market. Now, of course, this is in relation to the European market, and as we know, we saw the creator of Tornado Cash, right? He was sentenced. We actually covered that in a previous clip as well. We know that the Samurai creators are right now fighting their own battle in court. So indeed, I guess we'll just call it the state because it's not just the U.S. Or Canada or Europe. It's essentially every country that decides to criminalize privacy. And make no mistake, that is the precedent that they're setting, that is being set, I should say, is that privacy is being criminalized. And if you desire privacy, then you run the risk of being seen as a criminal. I mean, this is such 1984 shit. It's not even funny. I can't believe so many people are just kind of, skipping and hopping to this. Anyways, let's continue. The Lightning Network's two-party multi-signature payment channels will not broadcast all transactions to the blockchain, but only the opening and closing of the channel, adding that it and other layer 2 solutions could cause problems for law enforcement investigations. Now, essentially, for the people who have never used Lightning Network or for the people who have never used a node, what is happening here when you open a channel, okay, or when channels are opened, that is called an HTLC, which stands for hashed time lock contract, okay? And essentially, okay, what happens is that when you open this channel, you add liquidity, right, which is Bitcoin, or more specifically, Satoshis, okay? And essentially, when that channel is created, there is a transaction fee. That transaction, the opening of the channel, that is recorded onto the Bitcoin blockchain, the Bitcoin base layer blockchain, okay? Then you can do any number of transactions back and forth between you and the other party that you've opened the channel with, and them with you. And then when all of that financial activity has completed, okay, you can close the channel, and when that channel is closed, another transaction is recorded to the base layer of the Bitcoin blockchain. Essentially, what these law enforcement professionals are claiming is that the activity that can take place in that Lightning channel, right, between the open and closed transactions could facilitate illicit funds or illicit transactions. Interestingly enough, though, gets into a bit of a slippery slope because to me, I don't really see a difference between this and a cash transaction between two people, right? If you and I were to meet in a market and send money directly to each other, right? I hand you money, you hand me a good. I mean, there you go. There's really no difference. I mean, this is just simply a peer-to-peer transaction, specifically on the Bitcoin network with a reduced fee. So obviously it does offer some layer of privacy, as I just explained how the transaction functions and what actually shows up on the Bitcoin base layer. But again, privacy is not a crime. The EU's Markets in Crypto Assets Framework, which comes into force at the end of 2024, cracks down on interactions between crypto asset service providers, CASPs, and privacy coins, prompting crypto exchanges such as Binance to delist them. So, hate to bring it up again, but yeah, the then they fight you stage, we are not over. We are in the middle of it, okay? Bitcoin didn't automatically win yet. All right, like that's, you get a lot of these influencers and these circle jerkers that sit there and they try to convince you, Bitcoin's already won. Yeah, it's great. No, it hasn't. Okay, no, it hasn't. Like, indeed, the state cannot stop Bitcoin in its entirety, but we are far from one. Okay, we are far from one. And this is the next step in the battle with the state versus the Bitcoin network. So the writing is on the wall. Okay, clearly, the state is going after any aspect of privacy that a person can attempt to have on the Bitcoin network. But the beautiful thing about it is that open source code can't be stopped. So someone else can always just write another piece of code and put it into the wild, and people can test it. And there is absolutely nothing, truly, there is nothing that the state can do. And for the people think that they can, just remember this: Tor still exists. They can't stop it. Indeed, we hear about some issues here and there, but they can't stop it. I'm not surprised by this. When I look back at essentially all of these more centralized, right, these more centralized layer 2 solutions, which aren't really layer 2 solutions, they're just a bunch of shitcoins on Bitcoin. But you're going to see, mark my words, it's not going to be just the state that backs those. It's going to be financial institutions that want to work with them because they are going to offer a monitored central point of failure that can be captured. And this is by design. Guys, it's not over. Privacy is being attacked, and the writing is on the wall. So, this is what I wanted to talk about today.